Hello, everyone. My name is Mrs. Horton, and I know that most of you had a session with a different math teacher yesterday. Well, they made some changes, added another pod, so I'm your new math teacher, and I'll go ahead and let you know a little bit about myself. So I have been teaching for 38 years. I actually retired as an administrator from brick and mortar in 2014 and started working for Stride K-12. Been married for 37 years. This is my husband, Chris. He's holding our youngest grandbaby there. She's like, this is a year old, the picture's a year old. So she's a little bit older now, walking around. That's Haley. And then we also have another granddaughter, Harper. This is me being silly with her. So we have one daughter. This is Jennifer and her husband, of course, and their two children. Harper's now 4. This is when she was 3. My husband and I love scuba diving and taking motorcycle trips. This is us. This is me and him with this awesome turtle and angelfish. And I just sit on the back of the motorcycle. I don't ride my own, but I do enjoy it. I love working out. I'm at the gym every morning. I am looking forward to meeting you hopefully tomorrow in class. All right, so I want to make sure that you've done a few things for the OMS. There is navigating the OMS, and it is in the welcome section. So let me just switch over here real quick. You would go into your math course if you haven't done this yet. It was on your schedule for the 17th, so that was last Thursday. So if you didn't do that, make sure you go into the content. It's loading slow. And it is actually the math class orientation section. And then the first section here, welcome to math class. And there it is right there. So you want to make sure that you watch this video, navigating the online school. So if you haven't done that, do that. I also want to share this with you. This is some great resources. So again, clicking on content will load the table of contents here. And then there's this math toolkit. Now that has a lot of great reference materials here. So you've got the star reference, you've got the answers to the coach workbook, and so on. As you go through the year with me, just make sure you look at these resources. This section here, just to point it out real quick, also great information in here, the syllabus, grading information, handbook, your calendar. Here's my contact information, how to get to your grade book, and using error analysis form. This one right here, Desmos Calculator, we will be using the online Desmos Calculator. Make sure you bookmark that link. And in case you can't find it there, we have a whole section for calculator. So here's the link for the calculator and this video, which you should have watched. I believe it was Friday, was on your schedule. So if you haven't done that, go back and do that. It's real important that you know how to use this calculator. Okay, moving on, because we got a lot to cover and I am limited to less than 15 minutes for this recording. So expectations, please make sure you are attending all required classes and be on time. If you can't attend live, make sure you watch the recordings. They are posted. Participate by using tools, chat, mic, etc. Always use appropriate and respectful language in the chat box and when speaking. Check your gradebook a few times every week. Keep all comments positive. This includes emoticons. Check your email announcements daily. Have a calculator notebook, working microphone for all. All right, if you're not sure where those announcements are, if you go to Class Home, you will see announcements in the middle here. Okay, and if you are unfamiliar where your email is, this house here takes you back to your OMS page. I'm just going to scoot this over there, and you've got an envelope. It's very easy to check your mail. You need to make sure you're checking it. I always check mine, well, I check mine throughout, but I would recommend checking it in the morning when you log in and then before you log off. All right, then your grade book. Let me just go in there again, just to screen share. So in your class, you have a tab here called grades. And you have access to your grades. It's loading super slow. There are two sections. This is my view, so it's going to look a little different than on yours. So student view will look a little different. The first section is instructional achievement. These are those big item tests, like they're 30 points each. And there's only 6 of those. So you've got to, that's 50% of your grade. So make sure you're doing your very best on all of your graded assignments. The next section is instructional practice. These are less points. Most of them are 5. Occasionally we have a 10.1. Okay, moving along. Here we go. Make sure you are checking that grade book at least twice a week. Okay, so then we already talked about this. Make sure you have that link bookmarked. All right, so we're going to do a little mini lesson, and your teacher may have done this yesterday with you, so the teacher you were scheduled with. So if you already saw this, know this, just fast forward. I do want to make sure that you watch everything in here, but this, again, you can fast forward to parts you understand and already did. So this, as remember, is perfect squares. You have a 2 by 2 square, and if you use 2 times 2, because each length is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and you write that as 2 squared. They're perfect squares. So 3 by 3, 3 squared, or 3 times 3 is 9. All right, and you can see these and so on. So the next ones, I'm not going to do all of them, but you'd have 6 squared, and 6 times 6 is 36. 7 squared, 7 times 7 is 49. You can use the calculator, okay? So if you don't remember, I'm going to jump down to 11 squared. 11 times 11 is 121. It's okay. On your calculator, you would just put 11 times 11 in to get that answer. Now, if I'm going too fast, then just pause it and jot down some notes. So I think I skipped a page. Yeah. So did I skip 2 pages? Yes, I did. Okay, so how to use the calculator to find square root numbers. So let me go to that screen. This is what pops up when you go to your online calculator. This right here will expand the keyboard. Here's your square root sign. So if I want to do a square root of, let's say 144, it needs to be, make sure it's in that box, 144. Okay, my number block is not down. It's like, what's going on? Okay, so the reason why it's a perfect square because it is a integer number 12. Okay, I'm not going to get a decimal number. If I did the square root of, let's say, 62, look at that. It's not a perfect square because I get this long decimal answer. So that's the difference. So pretty easy to use. And notice that you can open up different windows. You can close them. You can do another perfect square. If I want to do the square root of 121, it's 11. But if I did the square root of 122, it's not a perfect square. It's a little bit more than 11 because 122 is bigger than 121. All right, super easy to do. Hopefully that makes sense. So on this, well, I'm not going to spend time going through this, but you can pause it here, use your calculator, and find those answers. Just get some practice in using that square root key. If it's not working for you, please make sure you reach out to me, ask for help. And I'm just going to jot a few down here to check yourself. The square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 49 is 7. You can see those. All right, so this another calculator practice. So let's just do square root of 217. I'm going to X those out. Square root 217. So it's 14.73. Now, if it tells you to round to the nearest whole number, it would be 15. The 7 tells you to round up to the 5. If it tells you to round, usually it's to the 10th place or hundredths. So you would say this is 14.7. So, and it's not exactly, so you put this little squiggly to show approximately. All right, I'm just going to do one more. I'm going to do square root of 84, square root sign, 84, and you can use this keypad or you just use your computer one. So here it's 9.16. So if I do to the nearest tenths, this 6 tells me to bump that up to 2. So this is approximately 9.2. I want you to think about this one for just a minute. If I did the square root of 81, it's a perfect square and it's 9. All right, see how close those are? Perfect square. The 84 is a little bit bigger, so of course the answer is going to be a little bit larger. All right, and to tie this all in, you've got a square. We talked about perfect squares. We have the square here, the area is 144. If you just take the square root of 144, it tells you what the side length is. So each length of the side of this square is 12 because 12 times 12 is 144. So I'm going to skip that one down there. Let's go to this one. So if I have Joe is covering a square shaped floor with wooden flooring that has an area of 192 square feet, what is the approximate length of each side? So you're going to do the square root of 192, and we're going to use that calculator. So let me click out of this. I'm going to do the square root sign, 192, and I get 13.85. It says to round to the nearest whole number, so 8.8 would round this up to 14. So it's approximately 14 feet for each side. All right, I'm going to go ahead and show the next one, but I want you to just pause the video, try this on your own. Just do the square root of 228, round it to the nearest whole number. Pause it. All right, here is a star question. So we have it says Paula completely covered a square wall using 87.5 square feet of wallpaper without any overlap. Which measurement is close to the side length of this wall in feet? And these are whole numbers. So we have 87.5. So on the calculator, we're going to do the square root of 87.5. So I'm going to do the 87.5, and it's 9.35. So it would be A. All right, want you to pause this one, try this one on your own. You have x squared is equal to 132. What's the measure? So you're doing the same thing. To find x, you're going to do the square root of 132. All right, pause it, try it. All right, last one, this was the star question from last year. So, well, yeah, 182. So you're going to do the square root of 182. And we're going to X out of that. We're going to do 182, and I get 13.49. So the best answer is 13.5. This came out to 13.49. So you can see the answer would be 13.5. All right, y'all, I know that was fast and furious. I am running out of time, but look at your weekly schedule. You have lessons almost every day for math. Keep up with them. Don't get behind. Yesterday, you should have done 1.01. Today's 1.02. We'll have a live session tomorrow. We're going to kind of combine these things, and I'll probably post some recordings for these two if needed. All right, reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you.